Good morning and happy Thursday, traders. It's 8:03 a.m. Chicago time on the 9th of November 2017. Thanks for joining me again. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This morning, we're seeing a fair amount of action, which is a good sign. Any action is a good sign. Um, the market's allocating to safety this morning. Japanese yen leading the board, up 16 pips or 0.18%, followed by gold. Gold's trading at 1286, up 0.19%. Crude oil is trading up 4 cents at 56.85. Crude oil pulling back to our most accepted price in this area. It's up 0.07%, and the euro is up 8 pips, trading at 116.28, up 0.08%. The laggards, the DAX this morning, leading the pack down. The DAX is down 1.2% or 162 points. That's a big day for the DAX. The range in the DAX is approximately 200 points this morning. In the U.S., the index that's leading us down is the NASDAQ, down 52.5 points, 52.5 points, 0.83%. We're almost having a 1% day in the NASDAQ. The overnight session in the S&P shows a pretty decent range. We almost have 20 points. We have exactly 19 points of range in the overnight session. So we expect that to keep carrying over into the day session. We'll talk about that in a minute. As far as what we're expecting going forward, we had initial claims this morning. We're looking for wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. Eastern for September, expecting 0.3%. And then we had a parade of ECB speakers this morning, and that'll continue. We have ECB's Vilroy speaking at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and then we have ECB's Lautenschlager speaking at 1:20 Eastern. Disney reports after the market. So that's what's on deck. Let's look at what we expected yesterday versus what we got. Primary plan for yesterday. Key scenario of our trading plan is for a market that trades down, touches the point of control. Let's make sure this is being rendered the best it can be. Touches down into our point of control in the 2584 area, and then we're looking for an impulse up right here with this arrow, and the market generally pushing up and then going sideways in the upper distribution. Remember, talked about this. We're going to most likely push into the low volume node of that day, hold sideways for a bit, then push through and then hold sideways in that upper distribution that we left behind on Tuesday. That's pretty much exactly what happened yesterday. Here it is. So let's fix our OS. Our opening swing is right there. So what we have is a market that pushed down. It actually opened right on the point of control, so it didn't really need to move that far down. Value low, push through value low by about a point. Consolidate, push into the LVN here. Not much of a consolidation, and then it pushes through, and then it holds sideways for the rest of the session against that upper distribution. And like I said, that value high, that high from Tuesday is pretty weak, and it's likely to be taken out soon. But the market is trading down here today at 25.78, currently below the yesterday's range. Today, setting us up for another buy the dip type of environment. Yesterday we had a normal variation day, almost looked like a trend day, except we didn't have multiple distributions going up. We did close near the high. With the point of control near in the upper quartile of the range, making this ripe for a push higher in the overnight session, which was then taken back as the session progressed. So yesterday's primary scenario was pretty much dead on, as you see here. We traded around the point of control. I talked about the value area yesterday being valid, and that's essentially what we tested. We've tested value low, we pushed the value high, pulled back small, pushed through value high, and held the upper distribution. Hypo 2 or scenario 2 did not quite work out. We did push through the low volume node, as you saw. On the Russell, the primary idea was for the market to push through to about 1480, expecting pretty good resistance in the 1483 half to 1484 area, as I outlined here with this yellow line. And then the expectation was that's likely to cap further price discovery up and then a rotation down. That did not happen. The market was pulling the Russell up by its nose hairs yesterday. Instead, what we got is a push down to the below the prior day's low, as you see here, and then a market that's squeezing higher. We did not get through that resistance area at 1484-ish. We ended up just sitting up around the 1482 to 1484 area. I'll show you that right here. There it is. Remember, I talked about impulse down, pullback, and then consolidate at the low, and the expectation is that 1474 is likely to be taken out. We did take it out. We pushed below, and then we went to the other side, and we got stuck at the prior week's low at 1483. We just shut off the buyers at that point, and we still have this key resistance area here between 83 half and 84, which also represents the midpoint of this entire move down. The midpoint is around 1485. I expect a fair amount of resistance there the next time we push up. So I'm looking to fade that. On a first try. That's not a trade recommendation. That's just what I'm planning to do on a push up. Okay. So that's how we ended up yesterday. Where is my window controller? Looking at the overnight. Remember, we finished highs, the VPOC near highs, around the VPOC. This is fuel for a continued push higher. We reopen, and then we get that push higher. We take out the prior day's high up to 94.50. Remember, 93.50 was an old double top resistance area, and then it fades off into the Asian Open, and then pulls back to mid, pushes through to mid by 5 ticks, and then it just continues on an impulse down, which looks like it's getting a continuation here before the open. We're likely to squeeze the 75.50 low even lower before we open up today. So significant volume. Look at the volume today. The volume's almost 4 times what we would consider to be the normal volume for the overnight session in the ES. That's very, very important to note. Inventory is almost completely short. The delta has reached almost negative 20,000, which we hardly ever see in the overnight session. Expect volatility into today's session. Expect a wider range and more participation today. So it's a good day to be in front of the screen and to be focused with the news feed. Again, as always, if you need a recommendation for a news feed, just contact me on my website, futurestrader71.com/contact, and I'll make a suggestion to you on a deal that I've worked out with a news provider. Other than that, we're looking at a day where, it's really important to look at where balance is. So as I push forward here with the current profile, you see it expanding, and what we have is a profile that's got three sections, right? So we've got, well, two sections. We've got a clear distribution in the middle. We've got a clear distribution at the top, right? And we have shifted from yesterday, we held above this LVN. Remember the 2580 I outlined yesterday as a key figure. We held above there. We tested 2580.75 on Tuesday. Could only push to 8150 yesterday, and it's looking good. And now we're at the cusp and below that 2580 area, right? We're just below it here, and we are in this distribution. So the key area to test is, take a guess, 2572.50 below. If it has any energy to go lower, the key target today on any short that I'll be taking, again, this is not a trade recommendation, this is how I'm looking at the market. Any short is likely to test 2572.50, and that's what I'm going to hold on to. I'm looking for the overnight stat, and I'm looking for it to wiggle around and take its time getting to 2572.50 as a key target. I expect it to snake around this area before it finds its buyers and pushes back up into the 2580 area. So the primary hypothesis, in addition to that profile, what we need to do is look at this area here as a separate balance zone. So we're simply charting the upper balance zone, and that's 2590. We have a 2572.50 as a key area below, and we have 2590.25 as a key area above. So this morning, as we open here at 2578.25, I'm looking for a market that is likely to become responsive early on. I'm looking for failure at 2580. I'm looking for a lower high. I'm looking for good prints on the order flow, on the bid as the market pushes higher. I'm looking for exhaustion by the buyers, and then I'm looking for it to drop, impulse down, and then grind its way, because we're reaching into that. Remember, the composite starts building from 2580 downwards, and I'm looking for a grind down to 2572.50 consolidation, and then, as we've seen, buy the dip, late buyers into the close. That is scenario one. Looks like I won't have time to cover the Russell again today. We did yesterday, but I'm running out of time here. So really important to watch, to monitor. This is, to me, in my opinion, this is a really important opportunity up here at 2580. If it does not, if it opens, tests down, breaks that overnight low, or pushes towards it and puts in a higher low with good prints to the upside and an impulse up, okay, an impulse up, and pushes into 2580, I'm looking for consolidation at 2580. If it exceeds 2580, then essentially over the next day or so, we're aiming for 2590.25, and the market is likely to close into that upper distribution and regain territory from last night's sale. The market has done this fairly consistently, and it wouldn't surprise me if it did that. So in that scenario, I'm looking for an impulse into 2580. I'm still going to look short at 2580 if I don't have a long position on, but don't overstay it. If you get an impulse up, you're fighting the impulse, but because it's an impulse, it's likely not to extend very easily through, and that would be a situation where the market would have to work hard to take out your stop above 2580 on the first run, and then it's likely to grind through and back up. And again, 2590.25 becomes the target if that happens. We essentially move from that lower distribution. So we're no longer auctioning this distribution, and we start to auction the next distribution up, and the next distribution up has a target of 2590.25. Okay. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. Unfortunately, I'm going to leave you with that. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Pay attention to your risk today. It's likely to be fairly volatile, so pay attention. Take care.